Welcome to Straight Out of Savannah, Talking with Tammi, a podcast that showcases people you may not know who are choosing to use their gifts to inspire and move the planet.
Thank you so much for joining us on Straight Out of Savannah. I am super excited to present my guest, Angie Mcallister. She is coming on and she's going to share who she is and what it is that she does, because we are going to get this party started. So Angie, share with the people who you are and what it is that you do.
Okay, I am a spirit energy guide and a manifesting coach. So I help people to find what they're trying to create and the blocks that they have. I can see patterns and old belief patterns that stop people from creating and manifesting what they're truly wanting. And I love to, through meditation, to connect people into their spirit so they start to feel that power and start to see those patterns themselves and to be able to intentionally create themselves. And that's what I love to do. Yeah.
That is so powerful. So tell me, how did you find this path?
So I started out just in 2020 doing Reiki. I started with Reiki and I went and did the first course, and then I did advanced Reiki, and I enjoyed it, learning how to play with energy and to sense the different energy. And I've always been really empathic. I think a lot of us are incredibly empathic. And so through that, I was able to learn how to play with it. And then I started to, more things started coming through. I started to be able to hear things and see the patterns and things that people miss. I think we all go about our lives and we don't reflect back or even see that we're repeating the same energetic patterns, or the fact that law of attraction is always happening. Yeah. And we don't understand how that is. So that all really started to play a big role in me. And I started to find my own power and started to have my own higher self and my own guides come in, and everything just kind of flourished and became fuller. And here I am now helping people.
That is so powerful. Now, when you were growing up, would you have ever seen yourself on this path?
I actually grew up in church. So I used to pray over people, and I would talk about, because I thought for a long time, I thought I would go into the church, because my dad was a pastor, a youth pastor. He was a youth pastor. He's always led the church and always had to, he was either an elder, no matter what church we're in, he led the whole group, the whole congregation in singing. So I always thought I would go into the church things, but no, not when it came to psychic intuition. And now that I have left the religious part of it all, and it's all coming in much more clear, I never saw myself here. No, but I love to be here. I mean, believe me, I'm excited to feel this. I never felt so powerful in my entire life.
That is the thing. It's like once you get to the place where you see yourself for who you are, it's like the magic just opens up. So how did you discover your particular magic? So like you said you went through Reiki and did that. How did the downloads start coming to you, and did you know that that's what they were?
When I first felt my own energy, my own power, and I knew it to be mine and not somebody else's that I was calling in. I wasn't calling in I wasn't asking for a God presence or another presence to come in. I felt this energy that was mine, and my ability to create. I started to do what everybody else does and start to want to increase my intuition. And I wanted to be telepathic and psychic, do all the things that, everybody said, do. And I thought it'd be really cool. I want to be a medium. And so I just did a lot of meditating, but I was so blocked because I had such preconceptions of what it meant to be all those things. So I had watched Charmed. I grew up watching all those shows about witches and stuff and how those powers came in, And I had these all preconceptions about it. So I actually blocked myself in that manner, but did a lot of meditating. And when I finally let that conception go, and that was a big one, when I finally let it go and I'm like, I'm gonna bring it in the way it comes in. And what happened was I met my husband, and my husband brought this balanced energy like I've never known. And it simmered all of that. And then I was able to just be grateful. And in the moment is when those start coming through. I started to hear things and feel things and connect to outside, the trees, the flowers. I started connecting to things that I had never connected to before. And that's just from letting go. I finally had to let go and just let it come naturally in the way it was supposed to. And we all can.
That's powerful. And you're right. It's a journey that we can all do. But let me ask you this question. Why do you think we don't?
Because we're also stuck in the society's rules and cages that they put us in. I mean, we are taught at a very young age that there is a capacity to how big we can be. And this is and you can get to that big capacity, but that's it. And we have to look outward to seek the fulfillment. And if we get fulfilled enough from the outside and we have enough, then that's what makes us enough. And we are never taught to look inside and to start to create that power ourselves. And when we're born behind the curve. We're born as like, well, you gotta now be better than your last, than your parents, or we're going to have to, I'm going to go back to the religion. You're going to have to, atone for your sins, even though you're a child, because you're born dirty. And that's something that I was taught. And so I think a lot of us are taught in that realm of it's a psychological cage we put ourselves in, because we think we can only do so much.
Right. And then they're down on what they're not up on. So everything, and we talked about this, everything is the devil.
Yes.
Anything that you wanted to anything that's good is the devil.
Anything that shows power that is outside, that is not anything that shows power that is not given up to somebody, to a higher power, is the devil. Because then that gives us a chance to seek out our own. And that's dangerous for others.
In that society.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's crazy. But so when you started this transition and when you started awakening, were your family receptive to it? Did you have issues with other people acknowledging, that you were taking this path?
The funny thing is that, I mean, there's my parents both are still very, very Christian, and they still do the whole praying for me, but just on that particular, but on everything else, I was on antidepressants. I had, my own issues. I used to have OCD really bad. I had anxiety. I was very strong-willed and independent, because nobody could take care of me the way I could take care of myself. And I made that known. And I didn't realize that I was speaking harshly because I was trying to protect myself always. So when I started to find the meditation and I started to change, and I started to find my own accountability for my actions, that the world was not coming at me, but it was actually responding to me. And I started to live in integrity. That was a big one. And this all was from meditating, like just from meditating and feeling my own power. I started to live in the integrity of who I was. And I changed so drastically. Even at work, my coworkers who feared me personally, they used to tell me that they not want to come talk to me because, I could be in moody. And the change was so drastic. I had people take me aside and be like, you are so different. What is happening? And so my family couldn't really look down on me from it because they saw such a change from the inside out. It was, I am like night and day. And I got off my antidepressants. I'm no longer on antidepressants. I no longer have any OCD or control issues.
So you were the mean girl?
But not mean because I thought I was better. I was mean because I was protective. And I just would say, like, this is my truth. You know, you come at somebody like, I'm going to tell you my truth. I don't really care what you think of it. You're going to deal with it. You know, it was one of those situations that I don't really, I'm not that person. You know, now that I'm balanced, I want to, like conversate and talk about it. But I wish to be that person. Yeah.
So do you think that was a result of the trauma that you experienced, the reason why you felt like you had to come off in that way?
Yeah. I did. Yeah, I mean, just like everybody else, we had trauma. My dad, for me, my trauma is a lot different from other people. Some people have really horrible trauma, and for me, my dad used to. A lot of it stems from this, and then of course I created my own trauma. But I was raised in a very Christian home, and with that, there is still that love and the comfort and the energy around that. So it was loving, and my dad was funny, and he was everybody loved him, and he was charismatic, and I just had him up on a pedestal. And I was the middle child, but we were the closest, the way that we thought and talked. And he taught me how to throw a punch. He taught me how to navigate life. And he was my youth pastor. Anytime I changed class, changed grades, he would go up and be my youth pastor for that grade. And then sometime around when I was in 8th grade, he had like a nervous breakdown of some sort that happened with something that happened at work, and his whole personality changed, and he started to cheat on my mom and got into drugs. And so and then God just was no longer mentioned. Like, I didn't be like, okay, well, we're just going to slowly not, it was just like night and day. And then all of a sudden I was like on my own, like, okay, now you raise yourself. So then for that, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to start, like, if I'm going to go to hell, I'm going to go all the way. So I started partying. I was like, okay, well, it's not me now, and I was like 9th grade. So my whole foundation was pretty much taken from under me. So from there, I believe, because I did a lot of shadow work on this, because I started.
How's your dad now?
Huh?
How's your dad now?
My dad will hopefully never see this, but he is really about himself now. He's just come into this. He's had his own issues and his whole own, I can see him now I can see why he did what he did, because it was very, I can't see it as from a child, but I can see how it can happen. It happened all wrong, but now he's kind of become more, a lot about himself. I don't want to say the word narcissistic, but I can throw that word out. So I don't have a strong relationship with him.
I kind of thought that. That's why.
I don't have a strong relationship with him at all. I try to talk about anything that I'm doing in this, and he wants to hear it, but then he just kind of, just gets like, zones off until we get back around, to what he's doing. So
yeah, that's what kind of advice would you give to somebody that was dealing with that kind of situation?
That as an adult now, we get a chance to go back and feel how we actually feel about a certain situation. I did not realize until my husband, now I've been married twice before, how insecure I was about men in general. You can see the pattern. I can see where it started, why I thought a man who would never ever do this could leave his family and cheat and do all this stuff. That rocked my world. And then we are taught in Christianity, that men are lustful.
Yeah.
And that is a core thing that I remember being taught, devil's always in their brain, always. Women. Yeah. And men are like, you can't trust them. You have to
trust them far as you can see them.
Right. And I didn't realize how much
never trust a man.
Never can trust a man, and that is just not true. There are very good men out there.
Yeah.
But when you start creating with your fear, you're going to start bringing in the people that you can't trust.
Right. And you said something that I wanted to amplify. When you start bringing it in with your fear, you know what I mean? It's like, we didn't have to have it. It doesn't have to be that way, because it's not that way.
Right.
But this is how we were brainwashed, really.
Right.
We were brainwashed, especially as women. They're, oh no, and I don't know about you, but I got you. You can never trust a man.
Mm-hmm.
Not
Oh,
as
yeah.
far as you can see him.
Because they'll always let you down.
Yeah.
I did not realize I had that in my head.
All men cheat.
Yeah.
You just either need to either be a good wife and deal with it, or, just leave them, but you don't want to do that quickly. I mean, just all kinds of
Put
things.
everything you have into it first.
Yeah.
And then, yeah. No,
and
yeah. And then
feel like you're nothing.
yes.
And feel like you're what is the other part? Feels like you're not enough.
Oh my God. Yes, the unworthiness of it.
Yeah. Or feel like you're not too much. Because that's the other piece.
Yeah.
Well, you're just too much.
Yeah.
No, you get, you're just, I think,
well, I was told
you're just too
much and you should be lucky. No. And then I want to also state this, that I've never had a husband who's cheated on me. So I don't have that. I know you did. And I can tell you that I haven't. But so I can say through when I've done the shadow work on myself, I will go into a meditative state and I will bring myself back to the age where I started to fear the behavior of men. And it was in my junior high years. So I've never had a man who has cheated on me, yet I was very suspicious the whole time. Why? Because I feared it. I feared that it was going to happen.
Well, and you saw it.
Yeah, and I saw my dad. Yeah, and if he can do it, anybody could. That's how I truly believed.
That's what I was going to say. It was like an example, because here's the thing. Your first love is your father, or girls.
Yes, and I was very close.
If you don't have a father that you can love, it's really hard for you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like I said, I understand, because I was a daddy's girl, and I was a daddy's girl 3 times.
Yeah.
Like I was my grandfather's first grandchild. As I was his, and then my dad, my biological, and then the dad that raised me.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm all the way around a daddy's girl. So I understand that. It's like when I found something out about my dad, I was like, oh my God, because I just knew that, he couldn't do no wrong. None of them. They could do no wrong. They were perfect, but when I found out stuff about them that made them human. Yeah. I was like, not my dad.
Right.
It's like when people tell you stuff about your kids.
Yeah.
Not my kid. I'm pretty than that, right?
Right.
But your kid is over here, doing these things that they probably shouldn't be doing or whatever. But that's your kid. And that's what we say. And it's the same thing, with our dads. We're like, no, not my dad. My dad wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
But then you find out that they're human.
And that's the thing. Now as an adult, I see that he's human. And however, I still get triggered, and these triggers come up. And that's the thing I would give advice to people, is that just because you come to this conclusion doesn't mean like, oh, I'm all healed. You're going to get triggered, because you're going to feel like you're going to feel whenever that energy comes around. My husband, like I think I said this yesterday, my husband is so sweet, and he really is such a sweet, loving man that is focused on me, and he could still say something and I could hear it, just a slight difference, because the energy somehow is familiar, and then I'm like, what? And it was never that. Yeah. What did you say? And he'll say it again. I was like, oh, okay. But the energy of it is still shaking around. So even though I heard the correction, oh, okay, that's what you said, I'm still worked up because I have been triggered now. And I have to talk myself now down and be like, okay, you didn't say that. This is not the other person.
It's up the ledge.
Yes, I have to talk myself off the ledge. And he's like, well, and I don't like that about I don't like that I can't just be like, oh, I heard, okay, I didn't hear it correctly. I know I have to deal with the energetic part my body's still dealing with. So I would say, to any advice, like, let yourself go through that. And each time you get that confirmation, okay, this is a person I can trust, your body does start to settle more,
And get help if you need it.
And get help.
Because that's the thing. It's like, there are so many people out here that can help you.
Yeah.
There's so many people, and you don't have to, you can choose, and you can say, okay, well, this person does this, and this is why I am so excited about networking with people, because I'm like, I listen to them and see what it is that they do and what they focus on. You see what I'm saying? So if people come to me and say, hey, I'm looking for, like, this, somebody came and said, oh, I need I would like a past life. I was like, well, I don't do that.
Right. Yeah.
But I know some people.
Yeah.
So you might want to check out this person, she does that. And, and if they're a person that actually have had a session with, because that's what I'm thinking about now, is like, maybe we should, like, do sessions with each other,
To give each
just
other an idea of what we do. Yeah.
So that you can see, hey, this is what I do, this is, how I work or whatever, because we all do different things and we all work in different ways, even if we do the same thing. And so that's something that I love to share with people, because, people are like, oh, well, I went to her for Reiki, and, she didn't really do anything for me. Well, what were you expecting? For number one, and what were you expecting? What were your expectations for that session? Did she talk about that? And sometimes it's no talking, it's just all energy.
And also, I think it's how we go into it. If a person goes into it, like, I believe this works, you're going to open up in a way that if you go in, you're like, let's see, you're not open. You're not open, and you're closing off your energy. And so it's not easy to manipulate by any means.
Yeah. And that's part of it. It's like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna be open. And I always say that to people when they come to me. I say, you know what, I need you to be open, and so I need to help you ground. Let's make sure that you're grounded. Because I need you to be open so that you can feel this energy that I'm pushing through you.
That's one thing that I think that's important for us to also let people, talk there. Like, there's so many avenues of therapy, and talk therapy is a great one and it works, but it's so long.
What I use it for?
It takes so long. Yeah.
I mean, I literally,
me too.
Stand in the mirror.
Yeah, me too.
And sometimes I just have conversations with myself.
Well, I'll do that in meditation. Within meditation, I will talk. I will have full-on conversations with my guides or my higher self. Yeah.
Like, you know what? This is what I need. Because what I'm learning is that the more dialogue you have, the better things are going to work out for you.
Yes.
And I think a lot of times, and I want to talk about this, and I know that you've seen it, but a lot of people get afraid to have the conversations. They get afraid to have conversations with themselves.
Yes.
Much less other people. And then what I noticed too is, like, I had a couple of sessions with a few ladies, and they it's like they hold back. You know what I mean?
And that's where we come in, because we can
You're like, wait a minute.
We can see their patterns. And so when we, and sometimes we have to call it out. Like, I've had to do that. I've been like, this is really, you're limiting, calling out something that they've thought, I'm being really supportive of myself, but they're really just closing themselves.
Or I'm being, what's that other word? And I can't stand it. Humble. Oh, I'm being humble. What the hell is that even?
Yeah. I'm being humble, and I just want everyone to, get what everyone deserves. And it's this whole other thing that they're being very small for.
Yes. You're like, what is that even about? Humble. What is that?
And we have to break them out of that. And that takes sometimes some, like, another eye on it.
Yeah. And so that's one of the things. It's like, okay, wait a minute. No. So going forward, what is it that you see yourself doing, taking this to another level? What does that look like for you?
Well, so one thing I wanted to say before is that the one thing that we do is, instead of doing just the psychological talking, we connect into the spirit. And I think in order for real movement and change to happen through manifesting, because everything is law of vibration, the universe works. It's sitting there there waiting. It's not.
I was gonna say it's waiting on us.
It's sitting there waiting for you to bring a signal out. And it's going to hook onto that signal, and it's going to start to create a reality around the signal you put in front of you. So what we do is, when we're not just psychologically talking, we bring the spirit involved to get the energy going. So the universe has something to create, a reality to create in an upper vibration, so that we're not just creating out of fear and need.
Yeah. I think that's amazing.
So I want to continue to help people connect in to that, to be able to make real movement in their life. And I want to be able to help them to create I would love to do more workshops and, talks and just connect people into their spirit.
Yep. I think that is amazing. So what is your greatest fear?
There's a few of them. My greatest fear,
or just say one of them, because you're right, we all have a few, but there's like a deep fear that we all have, that we're like, no, that kind of thing.
yeah. My biggest fear, I think, would be that, just like everyone else, that what my gift is not enough for people. I get confirmations all the time that it is, and I'm constantly evolving, but there's that still deep-seated, like, what if I'm not enough for this? So then there's the other fear of, what if I have to go back and leave this, because we get to, I get to spend time in this energy all day, every day right now. And I don't have to worry about the lower parts of, well, I have to go to work and wake up and I love it. I'm so blissfully happy right now. Like I said, I've never been happier. I've never been more powerful. I've never felt so in control of my life, but in the same way of sending out, of receiving and being, what's the word? More in control, but letting the ebb and flow of life come in. I've never felt so
just getting in that flow state,
balanced. Yeah. And letting things and having the receiving come in, because I am worthy of the receiving. And I think that's pretty much what and that's having the business, having a business.
That is so powerful. That is so powerful.
Just honest.
I was gonna say, the thing about it is, that's what you want.
Yeah.
You want the authenticity. You want to be authentic.
I want to be able to help everybody who stands in front of me. I so want to connect them in. I so want them to feel powerful and not feel stuck, like depressed, and they have no power to move, because we all are we all create every day, all day. And it's just making that switch of creating what we think we're supposed to create
consciously.
Yes. Or intentionally saying, this is what I want, because I know I'm worthy of it. And I believe it's coming. Yeah.
Yes.
And you believe it's coming. That's the change.
That part. It's like, okay, so I know that this is happening. See, that's the space. And for me, I feel like, one of the things that would be a tragedy for me is leaving this planet not making the impact that I know I'm here to make.
Yes.
That is my greatest fear. Like, I know that I'm here to make impact, not just for my family, not just for my children and my grandchildren. Hopefully I'll have some more, praise Jesus.
Yes.
I won. But just being able to make that impact, that is my greatest fear, because I know that it's a thing I'm here to do. What I don't know is exactly how I'm supposed to do it.
Yeah. And I think that there's only, through the grand scheme of things, there's only a handful of us that can feel it and see it and see where we're supposed to go with it. And so then I want to make sure I do my part in helping, since we are one of those people that can feel it and see it.
Yeah. I truly believe that in this world, there are people who were made to do the things that we do. And there's a movie that I can remember. I'm trying to think. The people were called wisdom keepers. Oh, it was The Wheel of Time. Did you see that?
I have seen that recently. I knew exactly what you were going to say when you. Yes.
That
is good.
Powerful. Matter of fact, I was telling somebody, I was like, I think I want to watch it again.
Yeah, it was a good series.
It was that deep and that powerful. And you remember how the wisdoms were?
Little, yeah.
They were the wisdom keepers, the people that kept the wisdom and all that stuff. And they were supposed to be, to me, it sounded almost like the monks. They couldn't marry and couldn't bear children and all this stuff, but they kept the wisdom and they were healers. And I think that, we are at this place where there are groups of us and patches of us that are called to do just that. And we need to be here just because of all the shit that's going on in our world. And we actually have the power to change it and shift it, and we have to use it. And that's the space that I'm in right now. It's like, I know that there is something that I'm supposed to do with all of these gifts and all of this power, to help this planet, because this planet is imploding.
Well, I think we're imploding on it. I think the planet's doing just fine. I think we are the microorganisms of the Gaia, and then we're feeling the energy because Earth's ready to move, and we're starting to feel it, and that's why we're having this political shift in it. And I think we're all feeling the anxiety of it, because I think Earth is ready to move on and evolve, and it's ready to kick off the energies that aren't conducive to it.
Okay, now when I say planet, I was talking about the people in it.
Oh, but I went way deeper.
But I was going to say you did, and that's fine. That's why I was like, but that's fine though, because that's why we're here, and that's why we're sharing.
And one thing I really want people to start is like trusting themselves. Like, we are taught not to trust our gut.
Yes.
Like, our gut is whether you are connected into spirit or not, the gut is the first thing that we have that we're supposed to trust ourselves on.
That speaks to us.
Yes. And and many of us are like, okay, well, I want this, and my gut, like, they're not trusting the flow of it. If it feels good to you, follow that feel. And if it feels bad to you, stop and reevaluate. But we don't trust the gut feeling.
Well, what's wild is, I said that to somebody in a reading the other day. I said, why don't you want to trust yourself?
Yeah.
I said, you said to me, because they said to me, well, this thing had happened, and and they felt it in their stomach. And so I looked at them and I said, wait a minute, let me get this straight. Let's backpedal. You felt it in your spirit, but you still didn't believe it? And you still didn't do it?
Because we're taught not to. We're taught that, listen up here, not here and here.
We were taught and raised to be worker bees.
Yeah.
That is what our school system does.
Yes.
That's why the fact that they want to pull all the education out of the systems and ban books and all this kind of stupid shit. It's nothing new. They've been doing that already anyway. The thing is the knowledge is getting out anyway, because we got the World Wide Web now. We don't have to wait. They can fucking burn the books if they want to. They're on the internet.
Yes.
So they don't have to. That's not going to be a something that can happen, that they can do. They can't even affect it like that. To me, when they start talking about it, they're just shining the light. And then people are really going to start.
Yeah.
They're really going to start looking, for education and information. They're going to really stay their ass on TikTok and learn about the things that the people posting on TikTok. Because I don't know about you, but I learned so much history on TikTok.
Yeah.
And I was like, so really, if you think about it, this world is in need of us.
Yes.
I mean, we have to be here. And I feel so privileged to be able to do this work. Not only, I love doing these interviews. I love them. So if you're watching and you want to come on my show, you're changing the planet, come on. We'll have a conversation. Don't be scared. It's going to be okay. But I love it. And this work, I love it. It almost consumes me. And sometimes I have to, come back to earth.
Me too. My husband will be like, are you still with me? Because I'll be like off, like, we are like, because it gets you going. It gets your flow and your creative juices flowing. It starts to connect you into something that makes you feel so much greater than what you ever imagined you were.
Because it's bigger than us.
It's way bigger.
And that's the thing. It's like so many people focus so much on, I got to have this and I got to have that. And it's all about me. But it's not anything about us. It is nothing. I used to pray and I used to ask God, why did I have to go through all that I went through? Because I went through a lot of shit at young ages. And I mean, stuff I was going through. And then I was giving advice to older people than me that were going through shit. but I went through a lot of shit at young ages. And so I said, why did I have to go through all that? And the answer that I got was, it wasn't about you and it wasn't for you. So that's why I know that, my life is I'm supposed to share, and I'm supposed to put it out there, and I'm supposed to tell people, because it's going to bless people. It's going to help them. It's going to help them shift and move. And it's going to help them to understand that, yeah, you can go through all kinds of drama and you can go through all kinds of hell. But guess what? The other side is good. And you can still be beautiful, and you don't have to be bitter and hateful and nasty and have unforgiveness because, you went through all this stuff. Because you know why? I realized it's not all about me.
Yeah.
It's not about me. It's for somebody else. I didn't go through all that for me, just because I needed to be, taken down.
I don't know. I think it does have to do with you. I think it's your creation. I mean, you had to go through that stuff for you to even be here right now, to be able to have this conversation, to have that knowledge and awareness and that gratefulness. And that was your traumas that it was very personal. So there was a lot of healing and understanding that came from all of that.
Right. That's what
you needed to understand.
In order for me to understand, because I had gotten to that space where I was like, well, how can a good God allow me to go through all this shit? You know what I mean? That was a space I was in at the time.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, I hear that.
So then, once I started, I was like, you know what? I understand now. I'm good. But what I'm saying is that helped me to do this work that I'm doing, because I have an empathy that's so huge and great. I don't care what you did and what you've been through. I can understand it. You know what I mean? It's like I have that in me.
And I think that's the empathic part of us too, is that we're able to understand, and we can see that everybody is just an aspect of ourselves a lot of the time when they come into your purview, and because that is how the law of attraction works. We think that everything's just coming at us and we're just having to deal with it and suffer through it and survive. But that's not true. A lot of time it's hard for people to look at themselves and see why this law of attraction is happening, and why are they bringing this energy that's not good for them. They think that, oh, I'm being attacked, things are happening to me and I don't know what to do, but they don't want to look at themselves and their own behavior, and maybe what's attracting that to them. That's a hard thing for people to see, and that's
because they have to look at themselves.
Real growth has to happen that way.
I was going to say, because we have been taught, to use the blame game.
Oh yeah.
Blame this person. Well, why is that? Oh, we're going to blame this person. We're going to blame that thing. We're going to blame, the elements. We're going to blame.
Or I've asked for forgiveness, so it's all gone. I don't have to do anything else. That's a big one.
You're right.
Yeah.
Okay, what?
But you did it in the first place. Let's find out why you did it, so you don't keep creating the same thing.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Because the thing is people don't realize you have all these loops. There's these karmic loops. They just keep happening. Yeah. And once you realize and you see the patterns, you're like, okay, wait a minute.
Yes.
This feels like a deja vu.
Yeah.
This says
people go, why is it happening to me? What did I do? Why am I have all this bad luck on me? Instead of looking and saying, okay, where am I creating this attraction to myself? Where do I need to heal? And a lot of it's healing hurt. We're creating by hurt and need until we can make that shift. And so a lot of us are creating from that. We just don't even understand it.
Nope. We don't understand it. Okay. So we're going to wrap up.
Okay. Yeah. Because
we've been talking a while. So tell people how they can find you, and give any last thoughts that you have, just overall.
Just in general? Well, that could take a while. No. I would love to just have people come to me that are really looking to make a really integral change, a change that is going to be deep, and it may not be easy at times, but spiritually I would walk you through it, and I would walk with you through the whole process and help you connect into your energy. Towards the end of the session, I always do a meditation that connects you to what we have talked about. And then then spiritually puts that in place so that you can walk out feeling like everything's cemented and it's not stuck up here and just moving, but you're cemented into your spirit with what we just worked on.
Yes, that is so powerful.
I am at Universal Restorative Energy. You can find me on Google me, the www.universalrestorativeenergy.com or Angie at universalrestorativeenergy.com. And I do in person and online, both. So I'm here in Forest Park, Everett, if anybody's in the area. If not, online.
That is so powerful. I am so excited about that. So thank you so much for hanging out with us, Angie. This has been so fabulous. I've enjoyed it so much, and I hope that you have.
I have. Thank you.
I'm so glad because we met on a panel, and we actually live not far from each other, which is so cool. But just the fact of another soul sister coming on and sharing about spirit, and how she's able to move and shift and manipulate spirit and energy for you. So thank you so much for joining us on Straight Outta Savannah. It's been a blast. We have had such an amazing time. And if you are changing the planet and you would like to come on this show, make sure that you send me a message on whatever platform you're watching this on or listening to it, because this actually is going to be on Anchor, Spotify, Apple, Google, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music. It's all over the place. And you can Google me if you need to find me, because I'm Googleable. I love saying that. Cool. All right. So anyway, have a wonderful rest of your day, evening, night, weekend, whenever you're catching this. And remember, we are Straight Outta Savannah, giving you the most amazing day that you can have. Bye now. Hi, this is Tammi. What if you could live your life without being in burnout, without feeling stuck, without feeling extreme irrational fear, without living with autoimmune conditions, without living unfulfilled, without living in fight or flight, without being able to always be on edge, without living in freeze? What if that was possible for you? And one of the things that I do in my healing sessions is I help you to shift from these things into the next great version of yourself. So if this is somewhere that you've been living, then I would advise you to give me a call. Reach out to me. Send me a message. I'm Tammi Morrison all over all social media. My YouTube channel is Tammi Morrison. My business page on Facebook is Unleashing Your True Self. On LinkedIn, I'm Tammi Morrison and Unleashing Your True Self. You can reach out to me via email at Tammi, Tammi, unleashingyourtrueself@outlook.com. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Thank you so much.
I know you've been blown away with the amazing value here today. Now go out and inspire the planet. And be sure to send us a message when you're ready to come talk about it on Straight Outta Savannah. Talking with Tammi.